I find to sort of, I think they're quite rational rages.
Nobody, and we mean nobody, saw this coming. But Cate Blanchett didn't just come to play, she came to obliterate. And the target? Blake Lively. All because Blake allegedly snatched away Cate's Chanel legacy and stomped on her husband's creative dreams like they were her red carpet heels.
Move forward in life. What's your moral compass? What do you where does kindness and humanity sit in a really brutal world?
With her usual poise, Cate dropped bombshells wrapped in elegance. She hinted at backdoor deals and Blake's diva behavior. The whispers? That Blake didn't just hijack a brand, she bulldozed through everything with her inflated ego. And trust us, the tea is piping. This wasn't just fashion drama, this was a war for legacy. It starts with a jaw-dropping list of Blake's supposed sins. Hijacking Justin Baldoni's film, It Ends With Us. Ruining reputations through media manipulation. Playing the fake Me Too victim card and even bullying a journalist so hard she straight up quit. Hollywood insiders have had enough of her queen bee behavior.
Congrats on your little bump. Congrats on your little bump.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I...
This wasn't a new chapter. It was the final straw. When Blake pushed Cate Blanchett and her husband aside from their creative dreams, it wasn't just petty, it was personal. Cate wasn't some B-list model in borrowed couture. She was the face of Chanel for nearly a decade. Its muse, its elegance, its entire aesthetic. She didn't just wear the brand, she was the brand.
You move forward in life. What's your moral compass? What do you where does kindness and humanity sit in a really brutal...
Cate had even led Chanel's Women in Cinema campaign, a meaningful tribute to women in film, a cause Cate has championed for years. She stood for the real victims of Hollywood's darkness. Unlike Blake, who, according to insiders, wore the Me Too label like a costume without ever earning it.
And it's addressing the gender gap, and it's addressing the racial diversity and the equality and the way we make the work. And of course that's going on in our industry, and I hope in many industries, because the creative industries are no different from any other industry around the world in terms of those problems that they face.
Cate stood for truth. Blake for clout. Everyone saw the difference, and while Cate let her actions speak louder than PR stunts or Instagram quotes, Blake was busy spinning stories and staging her victimhood.
Should Justin be able to release snippets to the media without the full context? That's what she said. That's what she did. She alleges that she's a Me Too victim.
With grace and authenticity, Cate embodied Chanel's soul. She didn't need filters or fake tears. Her work, elegant, raw, powerful, spoke for itself. The contrast with Blake couldn't be clearer. One walked in elegance, the other stomped in entitlement.
Being attractive doesn't preclude being intelligent.
And then came the final insult. Cate was set to star in a short film written by her husband, Andrew Upton. This wasn't just a promo, it was a passion project, a cinematic gem laced with legacy. And just weeks before filming, it vanished.
It's important to get your audience aware of that as clearly as possible at the outset so that they know where they're...
No phone call, no explanation, just a cold cryptic message. Direction has changed. Cate was out, replaced like an outdated accessory. It was cruel, it was calculated. And guess who suddenly emerged as the new face of the campaign?
I always thought Blake Lively was a pick-me, and now I have the perfect flip.
Blake Lively. Suddenly, Chanel's campaign went from art house to influencer core. That moody short film with depth, scrapped, replaced with Blake's shiny, bubbly, TikTok-ready image. The vision wasn't elevated anymore, it was marketable. Blake turned Chanel into an Instagram ad.
Someone who has got a voice and success in the cultural industries is suddenly marginalized or considered, their voice isn't significant or worth being part of the, popular parlance. Right. And they kind of handed it to the administration on Sunday night, a bunch of duffers.
And no one blinked. Whispers began swirling. Was this Chanel's way of chasing Gen Z? Ditching legacy for likes? Blake's followers and social media clout made her fit the bill. But ditching Cate Blanchett, the epitome of grace, without even a goodbye, that wasn't just a pivot, it was erasure. The silence was deafening. No public farewell, no thank you, no we wish her the best. Cate wasn't just replaced, she was wiped, like she never existed. Like her decade of loyalty meant nothing. It was brutal, and people noticed.
Yeah, but they're not.
And he gets to point and go, Hollywood sad.
Yeah, sad. Which is such a profoundly interesting thing to say.
And then came the leaks. Insiders spilled that Blake was never Chanel's first choice. She wasn't even in the running. But suddenly, she shows up with a multi-million-dollar proposal, sugarcoating her way into Chanel's heart. And just like that, loyalty was thrown out like last season's collection. It was textbook Blake. Swoop in, sweet talk, take over, leave chaos behind. She's done it to so many directors. And now she was doing it to fashion.
I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, and creating the character.
She'd charm her way into productions, then rip them apart from the inside. And once she had control,
When I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to fulfill.
Total creative domination. She wanted the spotlight, the credit, the control, and didn't care who she crushed in the process. And if you thought she stopped there, think again. At a Chanel dinner, tensions exploded under candlelight. Cate was there, sitting just a few tables away. Everyone assumed she'd skip it. After all, she'd been ghosted. But Cate showed up with her head high, elegant, silent, untouchable. Meanwhile, Blake, she was holding court. And according to well-dressed eavesdroppers, she made a snide, backhanded jab at Andrew Upton's script right there, knowing full well Cate could hear her. It wasn't just disrespectful, it was war. The room went quiet. Not the fun tipsy hush, but the kind of silence that follows a car crash. Cate didn't flinch. She smiled, sipped her wine. But her posture, stone cold. The message was received, and the fashion world felt the chill. See, Andrew's script wasn't just any screenplay. It was a poetic, old-world piece of cinematic beauty. Blake reduced it to a dusty relic. One offhand comment, and she had insulted not only a legacy, but 2 legendary artists, and then karma struck. Fast forward to April 2023. Blake Lively's PR train was full steam ahead. Her Chanel campaign was about to launch, but then, boom, a bombshell article dropped in a British fashion mag. The piece exposed everything. It named Andrew Upton as the original writer, revealed how Cate had been attached to the project since 2021, and made it crystal clear Blake wasn't the original choice. She was the replacement. The backlash was instant. Chanel panicked. Within 3 hours, the article vanished from the internet. But the Gen Z army? Too fast. Screenshots flooded Reddit and TikTok. Every fashion sleuth, cinephile, and industry insider went digging. Side-by-side comparisons, timeline breakdowns. TikToks roasting the whole switch up. Hairstylists, interns, and fashion bloggers started spilling tea. Everyone had something to say, and most of it wasn't cute for Blake. Cate Blanchett was hailed as elegant, classy, iconic. Blake? Labeled a social climber, a PR manipulator, a mean girl in couture. And just when Blake thought things might die down, Chanel's light-remembered holiday campaign dropped. It was Blake's big moment. A dreamy, snowy, ethereal visual feast, but mid-campaign, a line slipped in. A line that sounded strangely familiar. Fans gasped, because that exact line, it came from Andrew Upton's original script, the one Chanel shelved. No credit, no nod, not even a quiet inspired by. Reddit lit up like a Christmas tree. The line wasn't just similar, it was identical. And then came the knockout. An online account called Archive Detective, known for uncovering fashion industry secrets, posted receipts, hard evidence that the line was lifted word for word from the Blanchett script. Now the narrative flipped hard. Fans rallied, critics spoke out, even Hollywood insiders whispered the same thing. This isn't a campaign, this is theft. In June 2023, Cate and Andrew dropped their next move, a play in Sydney. But this wasn't just theater, it was a power move in heels. The plot? A seasoned, elegant woman whose story gets hijacked by a younger, flashier socialite. Sound familiar? It was a poetic smackdown, a dramatic mirror to everything Blake had done. One monologue hit like a literary missile. The worst part isn't that you took it, it's that you convinced them it was always yours. The audience? Stunned, speechless, and fully aware of the real-life parallels. Cate didn't need a tell-all. She didn't need a headline. She told her truth through art, and fans, critics, and the internet praised her for it. Hashtags exploded. Justice for Cate Chanelgate, Credit the Script Instagram Reels, and TikTok slideshows compared the 2 campaigns. Blanchett's graceful original versus Blake's glossy rebrand. One viral reel read, "You can change the model, but you can't fake the soul." By October 2023, Chanel finally realized they had messed up, badly. The influencer sparkle faded, and Blake? She vanished from the campaign. Cate was back, not just as a model, as a creative advisor. Chanel had pivoted again, this time back to its roots: legacy, story, integrity. The soul of the brand was restored, and Cate stood tall at the center of it all. Blake, nowhere to be found, erased, just like she tried to do to Cate. And while Chanel quietly tried to fix its image, Cate Blanchett announced her retirement from acting. But even in her exit, she didn't burn bridges. She built a legacy, with elegance, with integrity, with fire. Now the question remains, will Chanel dare to bring Blake back again? Will the public forget what she did? Or is Blake's reputation forever stained by the mess she left behind? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this isn't just gossip. This is a fashion war. And baby, Cate Blanchett Blanchett won it with a velvet slap to the soul.